We want to say thank you to our studio audience for joining us today, and we would really love to have you here on DelmarvaLife. There is so much that goes on that you would see that never makes TV. Trust me on this one. To find out how you can become a member of our studio audience, visit DelmarvaLife.com, click on the show tab, and Mom, Dad, if you got some kids that are 10 years old, bring them along. They'd not only love the show, but they'd get to see the newsplex as well. If you don't have access to the web, there's a phone number right there on your screen, 443-880-9116.
So we talked about how to protect yourself in an attack, be loud, and fight back. Joining us today to show us how to fight back is Conrad Morgan, General Manager of Mitchell's Martial Arts in Salisbury, and Zach Bennett, Martial Arts Instructor, a black belt at that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, all right. So we just watched the segment on simple things to do. Show us some.
Well, there's all different types of things. The number one thing you need to do is avoidance. And that was one of the things she said in that package that I really want to emphasize, is because that's the number one key, is avoiding, staying alert, staying aware. And the other big thing is attitude. She didn't really mention that a lot, but carry your shoulders back, keep your head up high, and make eye contact with every single person you encounter. Will avoid a lot of situations. A lot of attackers, if they know you've seen their face and you've looked them directly in the eyes, they won't target you as a victim. And
unfortunately, a lot of people are looking down, texting and walking.
That's a big thing. Especially parents need to have this conversation with their young ladies, the girls, the teenagers, the ones going off to college like your daughter. They have to understand that awareness is key. You can't be oblivious to what's going on. They mentioned about headphones, texting. You know, you have to keep your heads up and you have to know what you're doing and where you're going into at all times, because you don't know what's around you. And a lot of people get a false sense of security, thinking that, oh, the mall security is going to help them, or there's somebody running around the corner, and that's not always the case.
Right, right. Now, you don't necessarily need to beat up an attacker, you just need to get away, is that right?
Statistics show that if you can get more than 20 feet away from assailants, they're less likely to try to follow you or go after you. They want easy victims. They're very lazy. They want to be able to grab you and take you and go. They don't want to have a big scene, and that's why they talk about making noise, yelling, screaming. We always suggest yelling fire, opposed to yelling rape or something like that, because a lot of people will run to a fire, they'll go check it out, they want to be a hero, they want to see what's going on, but if they just hear regular screaming, they might just turn around, oh, it's a domestic excuse, it won't happen, and they won't go to that energy.
All right, so you're going to show us some moves that if we do get attacked, we might be able to use?
Right, well, the number one thing is that you do not want to be taken to a secondary location. So the very first thing you want to do is make sure that you make it as hard as possible for them. And they're right, kick, scream, yell, and do whatever you need. A lot of times assailants are going to grab you from behind, and the very first thing you need to do is just drop your weight. If you can drop your weight like this, it makes it 10 times harder for them to lift you up. And while you're doing this, you're screaming. Now, if your hands are free like this, I always say take your knuckles if you have them and just jowl them right in the hand, which will open them up so that you can get away. Right. The other thing that's always nice to that is if you have your keys. I always say, when you walk out to your car, you have your car key ready to go, ready to rock and roll, because this little bugger can go anywhere that's vulnerable. It can go in the eyes, it can go in the throat. Of course, just like he grabbed me there, you take this and jam it right in and twist, he's going to let go. His fingers are. Now, the other thing that you can do is real easy, is if he grabs you and your arms are tied because you have a bag or whatever, just drop your weight like you just did, and then of course hold this and then hit that groin. Ooh. Those groin shots are best, and then always follow it up with a stomp, because they're less likely to have to be able to chomp you if you can get 2 shots in.
So do the groin, stomp, and run.
And of course, still making as much noise. Just because you're 20 feet away doesn't mean you stop yelling. Right. And you just keep going until, you know, they stop following you. And
now, I thought it was interesting, back to the keys, you were saying a lot of us, and I have been guilty of this, is we have the remotes, and we open the door or unlock the door when we're still far away from it.
Oh, well, you have lots of people, one, who are not paying attention, so they forget where they parked the car. So they walk through the parking lots, beep, 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 beep. The problem with that is that you just told the assailant where you're going. You've told him exactly where you're going. Yeah. The other point about that is be very aware of where you park. Make sure you park underneath street lights. Make sure you don't park next to a big black van with tinted out windows. It's very easy for them to slide a door open and throw you in the back. And if you walk out and that van wasn't there before, go to the passenger side if need be, or go get security. Don't take an unnecessary risk that you don't have to just because you're in a hurry. Your life's worth a lot more.
I know a lot of people carry mace and things like that. What do you suggest that, or what do you think about that?
The problem with mace, and you know, it's a great tactic. Tasers are another one. We actually brought one today. But the problem with that is one, unless you have it readily available to you, because a lot of women aren't going to carry a mace jar in their hand as they're walking in and out of the car. It's going to be stuck in the bottom of a purse. Those crucial seconds it's going to take for you to dig in your purse to find them can be the matter of life or death or them taking you. The second thing is unless you know how to use mace or pepper spray and been trained, it's very easy to spray yourself. So now not only you've knocked them out, you've knocked yourself out, which is going to make it extremely hard.
Right.
And a lot of times, you know, that stuff, if it's breezy or windy, you spray it towards them, that breeze sprays it right back in your face, you get choked up, and then you're even in a worse situation that you are.
Sure. All right. Conrad and Zach, thank you so much from Mitchell's Martial Arts. Good information to know. And if you would like more information on how you can protect yourself in the face of danger, go to DelmarvaLife.com and click on the show tab. And from protecting yourself on the outside to protecting yourself on the inside. What your skin could be telling you about your cholesterol, plus what high cholesterol could mean for the health of your child. DelmarvaLife, life at its best here on Delmarva.